All right. Hey, welcome everybody. So it's good to see everybody.
So,
Hello. What up?
Look at this. Already the Squiggly's already showing his medal. I love it.
It's the only thing I've ever won in my entire life.
You said one, but isn't that like a participation medal?
It's a participation trophy. That's exactly what it is.
Oh, you're special.
And
awesome.
in fact, on all 3 days of it, I came in last place all 3 days and still got the participation trophy.
I love it. That's my kind of hike. Hey, welcome to Inside Out. So I've got some really cool guys with me. I have got the Pinhoti Mafia. So really excited to talk to these guys about some of their adventures, and especially we're definitely going to dive into the medal that Squiggly was showing, the Triple Crown of Alabama. But it's going to be fun just to chat with these guys. So make sure in the chat, if you've got any questions, make sure to put them. And then if you could highlight, maybe emphasize, or go with caps question ... and then follow it up with whatever your question is. It'll help us see it. But man, we already lose Metro, or did he bail?
I'll get him back when he comes back.
Okay. All right,
No
cool.
worries.
So, hey, well, let's go ahead and start and go around the horn. And then maybe guys, if they haven't heard of you, go ahead and introduce yourself, talk about your channels, where you're from, that whole fun stuff. You want to head us off, Crow?
yeah, sure. What am I supposed to say? I'm Crow, and I'm from Alabama, and that's why we have the Alabama Triple Crown. And my channel is As the Crow Flies Hiking, and I won a Nobel Peace Prize a few years back, so
Nice.
I got that going for me. Yeah,
We don't know what it was for, but we know he has it.
yeah.
Awesome. All right. I know what he did. Metro wanted to bump up in line. That's why that happened. So Metro, you're next, buddy. So why don't you go ahead and talk about who you are, where you're from, what you do. How about that?
Yeah. So my name is Andy. I'm also known as Metro on the Move. Is my YouTube channel. I go by Metro on the Trail. If I don't know you, that's kind of my thing. I'm from Atlanta, originally from Southern California. Lived all over the place, but I am a Southerner. I hike primarily on the AT, Smokies, Pinhoti, and I'm glad to be here. That's what I do. I make videos about me hiking in the woods and gear and all that good stuff. And I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Terry?
Terry Young. I'm from Huntsville, Alabama. I guess there's three of us in here from Alabama. My channel is Terry Young Outdoors. It's about the same thing these guys' channels are about: hiking and backpacking and a few little outdoor activities. So glad to be here tonight with you.
Awesome. I've been to Huntsville once.
Rocket City.
Yeah, actually, I was in junior high or freshman, somewhere around there. But I actually went to space camp. Yeah.
Okay,
really
I can stand on my deck
sweet.
and see the big rocket.
Oh, the Saturn 4?
It's Saturn 5.
5. Okay,
it's
yeah,
5,
4 was the one laying down, right?
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty sad that I live here and don't even know that.
Well, it's been a long time for me, but
And I've never been to space
Jeremy,
camp
were
either.
you in the movie? Were you in the Space Camp movie, Jeremy?
was that not such a cool movie? I would watch that
was.
today.
Cool.
It was a great movie. No, unfortunately I wasn't. So if you guys got time, a real quick funny story about that. So we were doing like the missions or whatever, and I was on environmental control or something like that. I was in like
Poop.
central control or whatever. So I wasn't in the ship. They have like this big book, and you're supposed to go through these codes, and if you have problems, you're supposed to look it up, see what the problem is, and solve it. Well, I'm sitting here, all these other guys are having these issues, and I'm just like chilling. I don't know whoever was behind the scenes decided like this guy's just chilling out, not doing anything, and then he like lit up my whole board, and I'm like flipping through pages trying to solve everything. It was like the most stressful part of my life. So it was horrible. Pretty sure we failed that mission because of me. All right. Squid?
Yeah. Well, my trail name is Squiggly. And you can probably tell from my accent that I'm from the Czech Republic. No, I'm from Alabama. And but on trail, they call me Squid, Squiddly, hey you. Get out of my way, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, on my channel, Gone Feral with Squiddly, I do mostly backpacking stuff. I throw in a little bit of kayaking, but what I do for kayaking is mostly flat water, and I do a little bit of RV stuff.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Well, you guys recently did a trip, and I really want to kind of dive into that, called the Alabama Triple Crown. And Crow, I was wondering if you could kind of break that down for us, what that is and who came up with it, and all these really cool participation medals that everybody got. So,
Yeah,
awesome.
that's it. It's a 3-day, basically 3.5-day thing. So we picked out 3 trails. You got to do them in 3 consecutive days in Alabama, and they're 20 miles each. So it consists of the first day being in East Central Alabama, near Anniston. It's called the Cheaha Wilderness area, and there's a loop there that's right at almost 20 miles. And it's the hardest one of the 3. And if you complete that, then you go to the second loop, which is in Central Alabama in Birmingham, called Oak Mountain State Park. And that's just over 20 miles. And then we always go to barbecue after that, just because, Birmingham's got such good barbecue. And then we move over to West Alabama, to in Jasper, Northwest Alabama, to the Sipsey Wilderness, which is one of the most beautiful places in the Southeast. It's kind of, a hidden treasure in Alabama. It doesn't look like Alabama. It's all this limestone and this emerald green water. And it's about 21.5 miles. And the finish line of the whole thing is this creek that could be 8 feet of water. It could be knee deep water. It just depends on when you hit it. But, Alabama weather is crazy. One day, so I did it 2 weekends in a row because we had a bunch of people sign up. And the first weekend, the last day was 22 degrees in the morning. And the second weekend, the last day was 87 degrees. So you had that much of a swing.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did this Triple Crown come around? Who came up with the idea? What inspired the idea? Like what was the kind of the decisions in coming up with even doing a Triple Crown?
Well, I went up to Michigan to hike with Mark Goes Hiking. Mm-hmm. And he had a similar idea. We had talked about it. Mark and I talked about how Virginia has that Triple Crown thing. And so he kind of did one. I went up there to Michigan, hiked it with him and 3 trails up there. And I thought, man, I could do this in Alabama. And I kind of got with our group that now is the Pinhoti Mafia. And we just kind of came up with this medal, and it's kind of taken off a little bit, which has been great. And everybody here has supported it. Metros and Squid have come twice. And they've helped me kind of publicize it and stuff. And it's not like we wanted it to be huge. We weren't trying to make it a big deal, but we realize there's a lot of people who love the outdoors in Alabama. We're just not very organized, Yeah. So everybody kind of so we started a Facebook group called Alabama Triple Crown. And there's it's not huge, but it's 260, 70 people, but everybody wants to do it. And those are the people who want to be to do it. So we've already got probably way too many people for next year. We're going to figure out what we're going to do to make it work so that everybody has a chance to do it.
So Crow will do it 3 times next year.
Nope, ain't happening.
I do want to talk about the group a little bit, Crow, with you. How has the growth been? Where did it start at to what it's at now? So what have you seen basically?
So as far as the Alabama Triple Crown, last year we brought people down we had somebody from Minnesota, we had somebody from Michigan, we had somebody from North Carolina, Georgia, Kentucky, I think, didn't we? I don't know. We brought a bunch of YouTubers last year to kind of just kick it off. But I just invited people that I knew were, a lot better hikers than me that would be able to complete it. And we had no idea what we were doing. And then that, you just got to plan it and hope the weather works out. And it didn't, but that was okay. Everybody had a good time. And so this year, there were 20 people who signed up. Some people dropped out, but I had to do it 2 different weekends in a row, but just had a blast. The group was it was just so much fun. Everybody got along. Everybody was positive. Everybody was laughing the whole time, even though, we were tired as we could be. Yeah, but it was just a blast, man. It's just been great.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. So was there anybody that didn't make it through? Because you're looking at 20 miles a day for 3 consecutive days. That can get kind of rough. Especially depending on the weather and Squiggly. You got a medal. I know that's not true. You made it.
Well, I did it this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you didn't make it the first year, or?
No, I had something of a disaster. That first day last year, to say that it was raining is just an understatement. It was just a torrential downpour continuously all day. And we hit, I didn't have any trouble on the climb up Talladega Mountain, but when you go down Talladega Mountain, it's pretty steep. And it's that section as you're going down is called the Stairway to Heaven. And that's where I slipped twice. And each time I slipped, I sprained a knee. And calling it the Stairway to Heaven is appropriate because each one of my knees went to go be with the Lord that day.
I love it. That's awesome. I mean, I don't love the fact that you got hurt. I'm sorry. That sounded terrible.
I appreciate you laughing at my misfortune.
I love the outlook on it, though, for real. So actually, it's funny you say that because when I was watching a video, someone said they were going down the Stairway to Heaven. My teenager daughter was in the background. She's like, wait a minute. If you're going down the stairs, that's not to heaven. But no, that's crazy. So what happened after the tragic event of Crow pushing you down the stairs?
Well, after he threw me down the stairs, I basically had to hobble my way out, and then at that point there was a road crossing. And I just used the road to get back to the vehicle, and I was done at that point. I could barely walk for the next month.
Wow. Do you still have trouble with it to this day, or is it something you're over now, or?
I'm mostly over it now. I did go to do some rehab on my knees, and leading up to this one, I trained a good bit to make sure that my knees were not going to be the thing that kicked me out, and they did not. They in fact, when I got done, that's as good as my knees had felt in a year. So
he kept telling me how good he's feeling. I'm like, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
That's fantastic. Well, I want to skip. We're going to go to Metro #1 on the videos because it looked like the weather was a little treacherous in this last one, I guess, per se. So, Chris, if you could bring up Metro #1. Now, is Alabama infamous for its rain, or is that just almost a standard day anymore? Or like, how is the weather usually down there at that time of year?
Well, from my experience, it's just been nothing but rain every single time I've been to this particular area. It just seems like you get here we go.
Yeah. Go ahead and yep.
All right, look at this shot.
You're socked in, boys.
Oh my God. Yeah, the entire day. So basically, that's what you're dealing with the whole time is socked in and rain. Yeah, that was just so let me kind of do a recap of the past 2 times, but also every other time I've been there.
Thanks, Chris.
We got up in the rain, but just barely, beat the rain to pack up, got everything underneath, put away underneath the tarp, got to the campsite, the trailhead, started off in rain. It was a small pocket of where it kind of opened up for maybe an hour and a half. And then it was just downpour. And then it just at the very end of it all too, is when it felt like, okay, we're like, you're on the final mile, a couple miles. Let's just open it up on you. And so it's been raining the entire time I've ever been there. I don't believe that there ever is a nice day. I see these pictures of people having a wonderful time, but I don't want to think they really exist. That actually is how it is there.
That's hilarious. Well, and now I want to kind of touch base on the group with you, Metro, because you had a pretty good point, and I love the statement on Metro #2, Chris. Basically, when you were hiking, it seemed like everybody was kind of either spread out or everybody just did their own hike. I mean, your guys going to the same place, but you hiked at your own pace. Is that accurate or fairly accurate?
So everybody was kind of going in different speeds because of different reasons, either they had to take a break or whatever, the different hiking speeds and so forth. So we did split up a couple times. There was about 3 or 4 times I would say I was out there completely by myself too.
Probably about 5 miles into it.
Yeah, I love this statement here that you had.
Only 18 to do total today.
a little under 13 maybe at this point. I'm not sure. I'm not doing GPS or anything of that nature, but it's kind of peaceful out here. Kind of cruising at my own speed by myself, just taking it all in. Just really excited to have time to reconnect with nature and just kind of get my head straight. I'm sure all of us can relate that hiking provides a great place for you to go through your thoughts and get yourself grounded. And one thing about hiking, especially by yourself, is that if you're not comfortable with who you are or the things that are going on in your life, you're definitely going to be thinking about them on trail.
Amen to that. Amen to that. That's fantastic. That's why we do it, though. I mean, how about you guys? Do you guys kind of prefer the solo aspect of it, or do you prefer the group aspect of it? I mean, where do you guys stand in that mix?
I don't like to go solo because I usually end up in the fetal position, scared to death. So I usually ask Keith to go with me or Metro so that I don't cry like a baby at night. So just me.
Myself, I like a mix of both. I like to solo sometimes, but I also enjoy the camaraderie of being with my friends and all that. So I like it. Every once in a while, I do need a solo trip, though.
Yeah, amen to that. How about you, Squid?
Yeah, what Terry said is right. Yeah, the camaraderie of it. But there's how to phrase this. The camaraderie, I think, is for me is even more important when the hike it has some parts of it that are going to be tough. Because there's something about shared ordeal and being able to to push through that when you've got other people experiencing the same hardships you are.
Yeah.
100. So I don't know if you knew this, but I go camping with Senior Hiker 77 all the time. And
wonderful
there's
dude.
time where I'll hike separately, like into camp, and then have camp time. So I love the group stuff. I think that I'm annoying to most of the people on the trail that's around me because I'm a loud character. I know I just kind of go off, and sometimes it's just like, so I'm not sure if they want to be hiking solo. I'm just hiking with them. It just so happens to be that I'm just a little bit loud on trail. But I do like to hike solo, especially for 5-7 miles or so, just to kind of get it out of like some exercise and so forth. But when you get to camp, definitely don't like camping solo. I kind of feel like that's I don't mind it. It's not like I'm scared or anything, but it's just one of those things that, it's like, I'd rather be hanging out with people shooting the breeze. So that campfire stories is where it's at for me. I love that part of backpacking.
It's dark at 5 o'clock. You want to sit around and talk around the campfire for a while before you go to bed. So
yeah, I agree. I mean, that's like, if you ask me, that's kind of the best part of it is like when you're sitting by the campfire and you're with a group. It's like when you go to, what is it about when you're like in a group setting, but there's no fires allowed, and it's just like it kind of almost saps it out of you. It's like the fire kind of changes the whole element at times, I think. So that the phrase campfire conversation is probably one of the best things about backpacking, camping, whatever. So I want to go ahead and move on to Squiggly number 1. Sorry. Squid, I was impressed with something, dude. Like
that can't be.
Yeah, no, 100%. So the thing about you, it's like I'm sure you're already wet because of the rain, but I was watching these guys. Oh, you know exactly where I'm going, right?
I know where you're going with this.
So you're seeing a lot of these guys like take their time trying to get across these rocks. So go ahead and hit play on this one, Chris, and then I want to get Squid's reaction on this one.
What's the one to start with? This one right here? Okay.
Forget it. He's like, I don't even care. So do you have like seal socks or sealskin socks or anything, or do you just let it dry as you go?
I just let it dry as I go. I've got merino wool socks and trail runners, and by that point we were already wet. The only thing on me that was not wet, I guess maybe my shirt, part of my shirt under my rain gear, but but everything was wet. And certainly my shoes and my feet were already wet. So there was no tiptoeing across the rocks to try to save my feet from getting wet at that point.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, okay, when you got to the end of day 1, I think it was, maybe go ahead and go to squid number 2. I want to find out about this. Like, I want to get the story of when you guys finished up a day, like how did you camp out? Like what was the plan on where you guys were staying? So, but let's go ahead and go watch squid number 2, because this place looked really, really cool. The Pinhoti Outdoor Center.
This concludes day 1, and we ended up at the Pinhoti Outdoor Center. You see everybody here, and we're going to spend the night here and then get an early start tomorrow to go do Oak Mountain. So keep following along.
All right, awesome.
Getting ready for day 2 of the Alabama Triple Crown. We're at Oak Mountain State.
Thank you, bud. So
yeah,
how
I
did you?
probably misspoke saying we ended up because that was 100% planned. we didn't just fall backwards into the Pinhoti Outdoor Center.
What's up? We're gonna stay here tonight. We're gonna crash this party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
not a bad. Oh, go ahead.
So I was just going to say that, well, we really got some great support from the Pinhoti Outdoor Center. They are located near Sylacauga, and it's Kim and Nathan Wright, and they are huge supporters and kind of leaders on the Pinhoti Trail in Alabama. So they have done so much for backpackers, including this Pinhoti Fest, which is kind of like the AT kickoff in Georgia. Yeah. It's kind of the same thing in Alabama. They started this year. And they opened up for us. Now, last year, we had Nimble Will Nomad come talk to us about his, hiking the AT at 82. Is it 81 or 82? He has the record.
Wow.
And they made us like a 4-course meal. This year, they were in and out. But they just opened up the place for us, and we stayed there that night. And we were so thankful because both times it rained that night, last year and this year. Last year was like an onslaught of rain. This year, kind of the same deal.
That's crazy. So that rain had to make the trail tough. I'm sure it did. And there was one part in Terry's video, Terry number 1. If you'll bring that one up. Like, I think, Terry, you really showed me some of the sketchiness of the trail per se, as you're coming up close to this waterfall. And I don't know how the weather reacted at that point, but whether it's wet or dry, I could see how that could be an issue where somebody might, as squid, tear a knee or an ankle, or in when you get in the backwoods, it can completely change your adventure. But check this video out. Let's roll this video, and I'll get your thoughts on that, Terry.
First glimpse of Peavine Falls. I hope I'm going the right way. I've never been here. Yeah, it is super sketchy getting down here.
That's crazy. Like, if that's wet, you might as well slide down on your butt.
Oh yeah, I think that's going to be worth it when I get there.
Oh my God, this is fun.
All right, cool. Thanks, Chris.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I might be the only one that went down that way, but
That's impressive.
I think you are. I don't know that trail. I don't know where you were.
Well, actually, Squid was up on top, and I was looking for everybody else. So I told him I'd never seen Peavine Falls. So he said, "Well, that's the way to get down." So I started. I kind of regretted it when I got about halfway down.
You're welcome.
You made it down just fine, though, right?
Oh, I made it down, but those guys can tell you if you've been down that way, it's from the Blue Trail. I think it is.
It's like a side trail, and it's kind of part of the Triple Crown, but it's just kind of an offshoot that we like to go see. But I before I forget, I wanted to mention that right after this, and she's on the chat, is Sky Asti, and her group came up from Prattville. And they brought us a spread of trail magic on day 2. And they were just amazing. We had Red Bull. That was my first Red Bull. And then I hiked like 4 miles an hour for the next 3 hours. And they had donuts. They had, everything you could think of, even like some sort of mom's cookie thing that was amazing. So
yeah, those were
appreciate her and her group. That was amazing.
Actually, Chris, roll Trail Angels clip.
Okay.
Terry number 2. Let's check that out. That's an awesome segue right there. So yeah, I seen that and I was like, I don't think I could hike after looking at what was set across those tables. I think I would just like lay down by that fire that they built for you guys.
Got a fire going. What? Okay, y'all stay right there. What about this group? Man, look at donuts. All right.
I mean,
Thank y'all so much.
You're welcome.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Look
we're
at
glad
this
to see you
spread.
still moving.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Barely, but moving.
Our pleasure.
That is freaking awesome.
Yeah, and look, Firebug here already go gather another fire for y'all.
That is so cool.
We got
Thanks,
another
Chris.
fire to gather.
Yeah, give Metro a couple of those Red Bulls and he would be hiking by himself, I'm sure.
At that point on the trail, we really needed some encouragement. So that was just so awesome. So yeah, big props to the girls for doing that for us. That was really awesome.
That's
And
really
what
cool.
you may not have seen in that video was that behind them, kind of off to the left of the fire, was where they could reload everything. I mean, so what they had laid out was probably a third of what they brought.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
crazy amounts of food and drink.
At what part of the hike was that at? Was that at like maybe the halfway point or?
That's
10
50%. Yeah, so that's like 50% of the. So that's almost at like mile 30 of the total 60 miles for the 3 days. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, okay, so I want to lead into something else. Like we talked about the weather. How was your guys' preparation? Like, what did you guys do to personally get ready for the Triple Crown? If you want to go ahead and start us off, Crow,
I'll go really quick. I backpacked 5 miles. I didn't do much prep. I had intentions on doing a lot of prep, getting ready, but it just didn't work out. But I pretty much knew I could do it. I'd done mileage like that before through hiking the Alabama portion of the Pinhoti Trail. But yeah, I had a lot of stuff happen a few weeks before, and I just didn't get to prepare like I wanted to.
I kind of panicked because I had a bunch of stuff going on at work, and when I got about to the week before, I was like, oh gosh, I need to do some hiking. And so I went and did one of the 3 trails and was really hurting afterwards. And I thought, oh gosh, I got to do this 2 weekends in a row. And my knees were really hurting after that. And I thought, but I think by the second weekend, I felt better because, like you get a little trail legs or something. I don't know. But the second weekend, I felt better than the first weekend.
Yeah.
Well, to chime in, this time around, I have not been hiking as much because I got a dog now. It's kind of smaller. So I've been going on shorter hikes, like 5 to 7s, kind of like
Sure.
Terry. And you might remember Squiggly's story about the first time, going down and hurting his knees. Well, there's more to that story that I want to clarify and how life ain't fair, but God is just, right? So how he hurt his knees, Leonidas was in front of me, and we were going down the backside of the Stairway to Heaven, and he's like, hey, Metro or Andy or yo, jackass, watch out. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And I kept walking, and I didn't tell Squiggly, who was right behind me. And then Squiggly falls, and Leonidas goes, what did you do? I was like, you told me to watch out. He goes, well, why didn't you tell Squiggly? He's like, I was like, you didn't tell me to tell Squiggly. So now Squiggly's knees are hurt. So I haven't been training that much. And I was starting to feel it a little bit more on day 2 in my knees. But by day 3, because of the lack of training, I basically looked like a drunk FDR barreling through the woods because I was just completely out of control, like not able to walk, period, on top of my knees, just completely. So I was like sliding down the sides of mountains. So I didn't prep as much as I should have, but it was pretty funny to see. Because I mean, if you didn't know what was going on, it also might look like I did crap my pants on trail. So I mean, it was that bad.
I felt bad for him. I really did.
Was your knees hurting on the downhills more than anything, or
at the very last 5 miles? So when it went out, because again, lack of training, lack of endurance training, they went out in the last 5 miles, and I was barely able just to keep the pace going on level ground because they're going 2 miles plus an hour. They're not taking a leisurely walk. Remember, we're 20 miles. You got to bust out. We're doing this less than 8 hours ish time frame, so we're cranking it. And then when we're going down the back sides is where I could barely, my knees were just all messed up. So Big shout out to everyone that helped me out with that. Thank you so much. And I appreciate that. I haven't been able to say it, but I sprained both of my knees and my right ankle. By the time I got home, they're just black and blue. And it took about 2 weeks. So I did not prep. So go ahead.
What was that stuff that Daniel gave you? Voltron or something? What was that stuff you put on your knee?
It's Voltron juice. He had some Voltron juice, and I was like Voltarum or some kind of cream or something like that. He's like, put this on your calf, you'll feel better. I was like, whatever. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Put it on my calf. I felt great. Then a few others had some medications, and I was able to, medicate a little bit with some vitamin I and so forth. But thank God for that Voltron juice. Otherwise, I would have been dead for sure on trail.
People don't realize, I'm sure people do realize, but I think the worst thing about it is like going downhill is the worst when your knees are jacked up. It is the absolute worst. I remember I did the Laurel Highland. I don't know if you guys heard of it in Pennsylvania. Laurel Highland hiking trail. It's like a 70-mile trail, Ohio Pile to Johnstown. I did that in like 3 days. And I remember the worst of it was at the last 5 miles, it was mainly downhill, and it's like you almost wanted to walk downhill backwards because your knees just hurt so bad. But yeah, that's the absolute worst. How about Terry? What did you do?
Like I said, not much.
Not much.
No, I just I didn't do a lot of preparation. I mean, I told Crow, I said, I'm gonna train for this thing, but I just time flew by and it got on me before I knew it, and but I knew I could finish.
Yeah, but Terry went back to his older days. He was a runner, like he was a college runner.
There it is.
He just dug deep and went, man.
Yeah, runners are like the most mentally tough people on the planet Earth. Like, I truly believe they are, because you have to be mentally strong to make yourself keep going.
What's funny you say that. That's what kind of led me into backpacking was I started trail running, and I'd see these guys walking down the trail with these big backpacks on, and I'd stop and talk to them about what was in there, and they'd say, oh, a tent, food. And I'm like, in that backpack is all that? And they said, yeah. So I was like, and you spend the night out here? So I had to try it. So the trail running kind of led over into backpacking.
That's awesome. Speaking of backpack, let's talk gear a little bit. How about the gear prep for this trail? If you guys want to kind of go through that, what did you guys take? What was kind of the seasons you prepared for, so on and so forth?
You want me? Who wants to go? Go ahead. So I used a 28-liter pack. It's 3-day hikes. So you got access to your car every night. So you got 20 miles each day. So you want to go as light as possible. Metro and I had the same one with that Waymark mile. And I think that's a great pack for this, because you still want to carry all your food for the day. You want, your filter, your rain jacket, that kind of stuff. So
your polar jammer.
Your polar jammer. Yeah. And so that was basically it. You just want it. And then I carried a fairly big first aid kit, because I was concerned. I get real nervous with this because I'm a kind of a one man show on these. Now that we got more people have gone, we're going to have more people to lead the hikes. But in this first group, we had Melanie, who is a trauma. What do you call it, Squid? A trauma? What is she?
Oh yeah, she's a
EMT.
EMT. She's a first responder. I mean,
first responder. So yeah,
she's a pro at this.
Nice.
So if we were in a bind, I knew she was going to get us out of it, because she could have dealt with any kind of bone break or some sort of bleeding out, thing. So I felt we were going to make it,
How about you, Squid?
On the training thing, I spent more time. I think I probably spent more time training than anybody else that I'm aware of, just because I spent the last year beating myself up mentally for what happened last year. And I was just determined that no matter what, everything within my power, I'm going to take care of to finish this thing. But what Crow said about having access to our vehicle every night sort of made packing for it interesting, because of course for backpacking, you want to take as little as you can get away with. On this trip, I took as much as I could put in my vehicle. Because I wanted to make sure that every day I was prepared in a way that I was going to be comfortable, not too hot, not too cold. So every day I could adjust what I was wearing, and with fresh socks every day, so that I was taking care of my feet. Yeah. So because it being 3-day hikes, it gave you an opportunity to sort of refresh your gear every day.
Nice. Now, you slept in your truck before you started? Is that?
Yeah, the night before.
How'd that go?
Well, I was afraid that it was not going to go well. But I'm a side sleeper, so I can bring my knees up. Sure. But the way I was sleeping in the back of my truck, I had the seats up, and I could sort of get catty corner in there, and it was just long enough for me to get stretched all the way out.
Nice.
So it really was not bad at all. I slept really well that first night, and so the third night we had the opportunity to go and set up our tents and all, and I decided that there was no way I was going to go do it. And then everybody else just sort of, for a variety of reasons, decided to sleep in their car too.
Backpack Burl's knees made it back from heaven. That is an excellent comment right there.
Yeah, sleeping in our vehicles just made it a little easier. Plus, Squid was talking about the last night. It got down to 23 degrees that night, and we didn't get to the Sipsey until probably a little later than we thought we would because of stopping to eat and everything. So it just worked out that way.
So, how about you, Metro?
So stuff I brought with me on trail was the Waymark Mile. I will say, though, I wish I had a liner, which I did not use. Need a liner on that backpack. My backpack was soaked. But I also had a new product that I was using by Short Hammock. It's a company I met at the Appalachian Trail Kickoff, and they have this really ultralight hammock. It's easy to pop up as a chair. So even though I'm beat, I didn't want to be sitting on the ground in the mud. So I had this to be able to pop up in the trees. Excellent little option, 4.9 ounces. That was kind of new for the gear setup. Really just a little bit of food and water filtration. It was just real light during the day, but at night, I did bring my whole camp setup. Camped the night, first night, stayed at the hostel the second night, and the third night I did stay in the Civic, which was a huge mistake. Again, to make it funnier, I had a really small blanket. I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to be in my car. It's like, how cold can it be? It's like, I'll just throw this blanket on. And I have the 30 degree in my trunk, but it's already like getting late, and I didn't want to wake people up. So I had this small summer blanket, and I about froze that night, dude. I swear I got no sleep. So I'm sleeping in a Civic, just kind of like this in the front seat, just like trying to push my feet out as far as I possibly could. I'm freezing to death, and then the moisture is just horrible. It's just totally fogging out it looked like prom night. I'm telling you, in my car, like
the Polar Jammer would have saved you.
Oh my gosh. Oh yes, I would have just put it on my head, just over my face, and just cut my face.
Awesome.
I did wear the sealskin socks.
How do you like those?
Oh my gosh. Loved them. Absolutely loved them. Yeah. Right. I can say 100% that they are worth it. I mean, they're not cheap, but yeah, 100% worth it. I mean, I would walk through the creeks, and I wouldn't intentionally, like Squid, trying to, wade through there, but I would slip in every once in a while, and my feet stayed completely dry. So, yes, shout out to Sealskin. Those are awesome socks.
I first heard of those. I think it was from Backpacking with Jason, I think. I feel like that's who I first heard about them from. And they caught my eye. I have not pulled the trigger on them yet, but I was kind of curious about them. Do you wear them more in the winter, or is it a summer thing? Or
no, definitely in the winter. Yeah, okay. I definitely wear them more in the winter. I haven't had them that long, but I can see it. But they're very breathable. That's one thing I worried about, was that my feet would sweat really bad in there. Yeah. But amazingly, they're pretty breathable.
Wow. Okay.
So great. Yeah, I would. That's part of my kit that I was definitely proud I bought.
Did you get any blisters, Terry?
No blisters at all. No blisters at all. Nope.
Oh my god!
I think I might have been the only one that filtered water the whole time. Was I the only one that filtered water?
No. But the question.
No,
was,
I did one time.
Oh, you
Sorry.
did one? Okay.
Yeah.
So no blisters for you, but how about the rest of you guys? Were your feet tore up from being wet like that and then getting dry? Or did you guys have any issues or no?
No, I always use the Injinji and couple that with the Darn Tough.
Yes.
And I haven't had blisters since I used the toe socks. I don't get them. My feet hurt at the bottom just because I'm old as dirt, but my feet hurt a lot. But no blisters because I think it's the Injinjis and coupled with the Darn Tough.
And you're in the Olympus 5 shoes right now too, right?
No, I switched to the Lone Peaks.
That's right. That's right.
Because of that rock plate. I love the rock plate.
Yeah. I used to get blisters really bad with Hokas. I mean, it was almost miserable. It didn't matter if I was hiking 5 miles or 20 miles. Like Hokas seemed to light my toes up, and I've always used the same socks. I've always been like a Smart Wool guy. They don't last as long as the Darn Tough socks. I don't think. I think they kind of get holes in them a little easier than most merino wool socks out there. I always have loved them, but I think ever since I switched to the Superiors, I mean, I love those shoes. I mean, I've not had a problem with my feet yet. So, but that's a good call on the rock guards. I've not used them. Did you use the rock guards on yours, Crow?
Yes, absolutely. Put them. Yeah.
Did you know big difference in those, or is it?
Well, I was using the Olympus forever, and for me, I don't know if it's how I walk, but the Olympus, the tread on them is just not as strong, especially in the middle. It's that like lesser rubber stuff, and it just goes away quickly. I love the stack on them, but when Terry found me some at an REI garage sale or something for $25, the Lone Peak 6. And I was like, okay, I'll just try these because they're 25, but I actually liked them and the stack didn't bother me because of that rock plate.
Gotcha.
You still owe me $25, don't you?
Funny.
Awesome. Cool.
Actually,
both.
I wore Lone Peaks the first day and then switched to my Olympus the second day. And then I left my Lone Peaks in the back of the truck at the Sipsy. I was going to wear them the third day. And when I got them out, they were frozen. I mean, like a popsicle. So I said, I guess I'm in the Olympus again.
I didn't realize it got that cold there. I mean, I guess I always thought it was fairly warm.
I got to ask you a question. So you said the Olympus, the middle part wears out faster. You're talking about this part?
Yes. Yeah. The middle. Whoa, is that the 5s?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have the 4s.
Oh, okay.
The 4s have a little bit of like a softer tread in the middle than maybe they've upgraded the middle of the 5s, but the 4s I mean, they would just wear out really quickly in the middle.
Yeah, when you were saying that, I was like, well, wait a minute. I just got these.
Yeah, there's the 4s. Metro's got, you can see how the 4s, like, I'm glad they've upgraded that because that was my issue. So maybe I need to get the 5s because I love the Olympus.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the 5. So this is what's going to look like after about 500 miles.
Well, I have no worries of that.
Yeah, that's that. I've had these without that. And then the 4s, it's the same thing though. It doesn't matter. It's going to wear out. That's what Crow is saying. Whatever that is, the material just kind of wears out. But I can't get away from them. These are. I just got a new pair of shoes, but I'm not going to say exactly what I got. But you probably can figure out what they are too.
See, I have the Lone Peaks. I had trouble with because they don't have enough cushion, and so that's why I was going to the Olympus because I was like, this is nothing. I still feel. Oh, I felt that rock. So yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you about that. Okay, carry on.
No, you're good. You're good.
That's good. But Jeremy, you got Superiors, and those have like the least
tread. Yeah, I mean stack.
Oh
and honestly, I don't use the rock plate. I mean, I really don't. Yeah, I mean, So, dude, 20 years working as a manager in a big box, walking on concrete. I mean, you could probably.
You're a caveman.
So, no, but it's funny you say that because the center treads wore out in those first, the first Superiors that I had. And I just went ahead and got the 4s. I still went back to the well, even though it did that, just because I liked them so much. But But I don't do as much hiking probably as you guys do, though, at least nowadays. But yeah, I think it's once you find a shoe that fits, it's like sometimes you almost will put up with the other stuff if they don't last as long or whatever. If they keep my feet from getting blisters, I'm happy.
Do you guys use the lock laces on yours?
No,
not yet. No, I'm gonna try those though.
I've been wearing these, around the house and everything, and I tell you what, that just the right amount of pressure, it doesn't cut off circulation, but your shoes stay on your feet. Highly recommend them. Not sponsored, thanks.
No, I'd rather tie my shoes because that gives me a minute to stop on trail. So that's my excuse. Hold on, guys, got to tie my shoes. So that's my excuse to get a breath.
Hey, Jeremy, can I give a shout out to somebody in the comments?
Absolutely.
So in the comments, Orville was with this group, and he is actually a repeat offender of the Alabama Triple Crown. He did it by himself in the summer after we did the first one. We met him at the Pinhoti Outdoor Center when we did the first one. He's like, oh, this is cool. He drove down from Ohio and did it with us this time, but he did it by himself after we did the first one because he thought it was a cool challenge. And so he got a repeat offender this time for completing the second time.
That's fantastic.
Who is it?
Orville's awesome, man.
Orville?
Yeah. Orville
Weatherman.
Fields,
Yep.
Weatherman on the comments.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go, Orville. Right on, Olympus. See, Chris, you made the right call.
I'm glad.
So
This
what do you
guy's
guys
a
have
champ,
new for gear for 2023? I mean, what do you guys? Oh, Metro's got some.
Speaking of new gear, though, in this point of the show, what I would really like to have happen is to maybe do a poll with the people that are in the chat room.
Let's
and
do
they
it.
can all chime in on this because
Let's do it.
I'm going to set the stage.
Okay.
Squiggly is in the middle of deciding a very, very important decision. He has to make a very important choice. Right now, he's looking at two options, and one of them is a Hyperlight Mountain Gear pack, and I'll let him describe what pack it is. And the other pack is a Z-Pack backpack. So between Z-Packs and Hyperlight Mountain Gear, Squiggly, can you please describe which two backpacks you're deciding between? So maybe we can have a poll in terms of what the guests think we should get.
Or
We lost him.
you scared him away.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, did you turn on your
You
dryer?
are not even going to believe what just happened. I'm doing this on my phone, and in the middle of you asking that question, I was getting an Amber Alert.
Really?
Yeah, I mean that was the craziest thing ever. Okay, so what I'm looking at is the Hyperlight Windrider 3400 and the Z-Packs, and I was thinking Arc Blast, but now it's an Arc Haul that's a little bit smaller than my current Arc Haul because I want something a little bit smaller, and it's made instead of with the same material that I have currently. It's made with
Ultra?
a different material.
The Ultra 200?
It's the yes, it's the Ultra 100.
Yeah, 100. Okay.
So that's what I'm kind of torn between, and they both have pros and cons, and for the life of me, I can't figure out what I want. And every time I think that I figured it out, I talk to the Pinhoti Mafia, and they start tearing me apart in different directions, and I can't win.
Oh,
House
okay.
divided. It's a house divided.
Okay. All right. So we got
So
three
is.
other Mafia members here right now. So let's get their opinions on what they think you should get. How about that? So let's start. Let's go backwards. Let's start with Terry. Which pack do you think Squiggly should get?
Well, I've got them both actually. I've got the Arc Haul. It's the Dyneema version or the DCF, and that's what I actually started with. And then I bought the Hyperlight Mountain Gear Southwest 3400 and absolutely fell in love with it. I mean, that's my go-to pack.
Okay.
Don't they both weigh the same, by the way?
No, actually, the Hyperlight's a little bit heavier.
Yeah.
Is it?
But the one thing I love about the Hyperlight 3400 is it's bomb proof.
Yeah.
It really is. That thing is so tough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
How about you, Metro?
Gentle with it. All right, so I started off I think I got in 2017 the Arc Haul and the Ripstop, the old school big bag arc haul. And for me, it didn't wear exactly right on me. It kind of felt like it was wearing on one of my sides a little weird. And they tell you to size down, not size up. So I don't know if the pack was not sized properly, but I've never felt it felt right. So then I moved over to Hyperlight, and I got the Southwest 2400, and I liked it so much that I upgraded and got the 3400, and I've been using that ever since. So I am Hyperlight mountain gear because, to Terry's point, it's more durable on the backpacks. It's more durable, it's more comfortable, and even though it doesn't have the arc on it, I feel it's a more stable pack as a whole. And since it's a 3400, I can take more stuff in my bag and pack it down. If I have a little bit of stuff, I can still roll it down. There's no issue. It's just like a no-brainer for me. And it comes with the side pockets. You don't have to spend another $100 on the side pockets. And if you're smart, you buy it from REI, and if you don't like it, you can always take it back a year later and get something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a very simplistic pack. That's what I love about it.
So I've had the Art Blast years ago and traded it for the Hyperlight Mountain Gear Junction. I like the mesh on the back and then the fabric on the sides with the Junction. So I have the 3400, and I'm kind of in the middle, though. I think that the Hyperlight Mountain Gear is much more comfortable than the Art Blast. Because to me, you have to get that sternum support pad for the Arc Blast. If you don't, it really is going to sit hard on your hips. But the upside of the Arc Blast is if something breaks, you can modulate it. And on the Hyperlight Mountain Gear, the hip belt is sewn in, so if something breaks on that, you're going to have to get another pack or have it fixed. But to me, it just all comes down to comfort, and the Hyperlight Mountain Gear is, for me, just personally. I'm not saying, I like both the packs. I really do. I loved my Z-Packs Arc Blast, but for me, the Hyperlight Mountain Gear is just hands down much more comfortable on my back. And I quit worrying about that whole arc thing. You're going to sweat anyway, so I don't buy into the whole arc thing. It's just that's my opinion.
So I am team Z-Packs on this one because I've had an Arc Haul Zip since 2017, and I'm still using it today. Now I did buy the Waymark Ember, and that resembles kind of the structure of the Hyperlight. And I know what you're saying, Crow, about the Arc, but I would say go Z-Packs for that because I got a little bit of a weight problem. Don't know if you noticed that. So having that extra ventilation on my back really helps me to avoid back acne. But it also, the Z-Packs is more comfortable for me.
So you had something, Squid, on your pack. That was like a vent. Can you talk about that? What was that? Like I noticed
that was the Vocaloos. What do they call it? The Vocaloos Cool Dry Backpack Frame. It's got a name about a mile long. Really simple kind of design, but it just clips onto the your backpack so that it fits between your back and your backpack, and it allows some ventilation. And when I first saw it, I was sort of intrigued by it, and I thought, well, let's see how this works out. And I used it to train with. And I really liked it. And then after using it for 60 miles on the Triple Crown, I thought, I'm definitely using this now, especially with that day pack that I've got. So it gives a little bit of space between my back and my pack, and I was not sweating as much. But more importantly, beyond the sweat, I just didn't feel as hot.
Really? Well, I mean, that makes sense because the backpack's like a blanket on your back. I mean, that makes complete sense. So what did it feel up again? Did you feel like the individual design pressing up or against your back, or was it actually fairly comfortable? Or
it was well, and see, that was one of my initial concerns when I put it on my pack. I had a couple of initial concerns that turned out not to be founded in fact, and that was one of them. I looked at it and I thought, this cannot be comfortable.
Right.
And after wearing it seriously for more than about 30 seconds, you completely lose any feeling that it's there. And
That makes sense.
I would only think about it. I was only aware of it if I was actively thinking about it. In fact, somebody on trail said, "Hey, what kind of pack is that?" Because then what they were talking about was this frame, and I had forgotten that it was there. I just started telling them about my day pack.
Nice.
So I just completely forgotten about it. And so that was, one of the concerns was comfort. And that turned out to be unfounded. The other concern was when I put it on there, I thought there is no way this is going to stay in place. It never moved. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So in the chat looks like a house divided as well. So this is a very this could be.
You want me to give the deciding
your
vote?
most viral video ever between the live stream and all the different comments that you're getting here and the back and forth.
Yeah.
I'd be making phone calls to Z-Packs and Hyperlight going, listen, we've got a decision to make, and I really need some influencing.
They need to.
All right.
What can you do for me, my friend?
So here would be my vote. Well, first, Chris, what do you said? Z-Packs? Is that what you said? You think?
I said Z-Packs for my situation because I'm a larger gentleman, a husky gentleman, if you will. So that ventilation now, when I lose all this weight, and girl, I'm gonna, but when I lose all this weight, I might change my mind, right?
Yeah.
I might be like, well, I can take something on my back.
Yep.
So.
Well, I think personally, whatever your preference is, go for it. But
that's the deciding vote.
That's the deciding vote, right?
Whatever
there.
you want to do,
Squid.
No.
Is it really?
No, okay.
50-50?
All right.
Are you serious?
No,
I'm not even looking at it.
I would say light AF all day long. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh! Now that's like
third choice.
Yeah.
There was two choices, not
Yeah.
three choices.
I
We
can't-
were talking about. I've got.
I can't go anywhere different. Honestly, I know Chris from Light AF, solid guy. I know what he goes through in his shop to make sure he hands out an incredibly dependable product. The dude's very passionate about what he does, cares about what he does, and if that ULA ever dies, I'm probably going to get a Light AF. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, that's just it's not just the pack, it's also what's behind the pack too. And I think that has a lot to say.
Ooh,
the guy stands behind it, will fix it. I mean,
It's the man behind the pack.
Yeah.
It's his nucleus.
the man wearing the pack.
Senior hiker says buy both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I have kids in college. I'm not buying those.
You can always sell your blood. You can sell your blood for we know somebody used to
Plasma.
do that. We're gonna leave him nameless, but we used to have someone we know would go to the blood bank just to buy hiking gear specifically with that money. So it was kind of like blood money for hiking gear.
Not a bad thought.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I mean, it was
He's not
plasma
lying.
too. So it was like the kind that's like yellow coming out of you. So they had to do some work, He's going in there, he's getting skinnier and skinnier. I'm like, I don't know if you should do that. He's like, I need more hiking gear. I was like, all right. I mean, you're looking pretty skinny now. He's like, I eat steak for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's like, I bet you do. You missed the skinny now. Look at you. All your plasma's gone.
Man, I must be that odd man out on backpacking gear, because honestly, I still use a lot of the same stuff that I used on my first couple of hikes. I mean, I haven't changed anything.
External frame.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah,
External
that
frame.
backpack right there. I mean, you'll probably see it pretty far back on my videos.
Yeah.
So I mean, the same stuff that I used to hang the hammock back 4, 5, 6 years ago, I'm still using now. I mean, I just don't like to change, I guess, maybe. But so as far as trips for 2023, Squid, what do you have lined out? Any big trips that you got planned for 2023?
No, I really don't have any big ones planned right now. And for a while, I thought I was going to, but Crow decided not to invite me, and so no, I'm joking. No, but seriously, I did at one time think that I had one planned or kind of had something in the works, but it fell through. So right now, I do not have anything big in the works.
Gotcha. How about you, Terry?
I've got a trip planned to the Smokies. with Nicole hikes a lot, Jason
awesome.
Outdoors, and a couple of others. I think it's April 21st through the 24th.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
So we're going to go to the southern part of the Smokies and do that. Forgot the name of the trail, but yeah, it's pretty. Believe it or not, I have never hiked in the Smokies.
Me either.
Are you going up Mount LeConte? Is
No.
that what it is? No, you're not doing
No,
LeConte.
no,
Okay.
we're not going to. Matter of fact, we're not even. I don't think we're going to go any long distance, but
Yeah.
it should be fun because it'll be several YouTubers getting together. So
It's always fun.
and Squid talked
Caveman
about maybe
OS.
going back to the Sipsy again. So
Caveman says he'll be there.
Yeah.
okay, man, awesome.
Nice.
Yep, Max,
All right.
good dude.
All right. Metro, how about you, bud?
Also heading to the Smokies soon. Going to be meeting up with actually Crow, Southern Hike, and Andy Parrish Outdoors. I'm not
Okay.
going to say where or the dates because I don't want intruders, especially bears. Maybe going to Trail Days as
Okay.
well. It's up in Damascus. Going to do that. Not sure there yet. And then going to do another through of the Pine Mountain Trail, and then there's also some talk about doing the Foothills Trail as well later on in the year. So excited about that. Those are the things I've got going on. Hopefully we'll get together and do a section of the Pinhoti. We got Pinhoti Fest later this year as well. I don't know if you guys know about that or not, but Pinhoti Fest is going to have its second shindig for the year, whatever. It's going to be in Sylacauga, Alabama. I'm not sure the dates yet, but you check out the Pinhoti Outdoor Center that will be mentioned. I'm sure that the Pinhoti Mafia will be there for that, but hope we can get some sections done on the Pinhoti while we're out there as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Pinhoti Fest. Last year was the first. Well, actually, yeah, last year was the first year they'd done it, and I thought it turned out incredible. Really did.
Yeah. Metro, you had a video on that. I think I seen, didn't you?
There's a couple videos out there of the event. They had music, they had vendors, they had speakers. Dixie was there as well. I think we all got to meet Dixie. It was kind of cool, take pictures and so forth. That was a nice little event. But yeah, totally worth it if you guys are obviously traveling through Alabama. Make sure you check out Pinhoti Outdoor Center. They'll have more information on when the Pinhoti Fest is going to be. Definitely would recommend it. I'm pretty sure all of us will be there from the Pinhoti Mafia as well.
Fantastic. How about you, Crow?
Hope to go out to Wyoming later this summer. In fact, one of the people in the comments, Cash Max, is going to show me around out there. I've never been to that state, and I've always wanted to see that. What is it? Wind Range area?
Wind River Range. Yeah.
Yeah, Wind River, and see that Cirque de Towers. I've always wanted to see that.
Yeah.
I saw it on Abby Tat's video years ago when he was doing when he was doing the CDT. I don't remember, but I was just blown away by that. So I hope to go out there and see that. Somebody Metro mentioned Dixie. I think the Alabama Triple Crown would have died on the vine, but for at Pinhoti Fest. When she got up to talk, she'd come by our booth and we told her about the Alabama Triple Crown. And when she got up to talk, she said, you don't have to do some sort of through hike of the AT or something. You could do like the Alabama Triple Crown. And then, oh gosh, all these people started coming up to her booth. What is this? Dixie mentioned it and all this stuff. And that was just so,
That's awesome.
It was so genuine of her because she didn't have to mention our stuff,
Yeah.
I mean, it just shows like she's the real deal. Like, she's got all the street cred of doing all 3 trails, but like she didn't have to do that. And it was really nice. And then we started the Facebook page after it. So I just say that it was really cool of her to do that.
Yep.
Wow, that is
at the event.
cool.
You actually started the webpage, and then from there, got group followers almost instantly. And then again, you had second round. So again, that was awesome.
Cash Max just off the CDT.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know that area. We have to get Cash. He's going to show me around. If he goes down, I don't know. I'll just be lost out there, die out there somewhere.
You might run into Backpacker Bob while you're out there.
Oh no!
Hopefully not.
I got to go out with David Gray to the Wind River Range a couple years ago, and I'll tell you, I don't know, it was just something about that entire trip that it was the best trip of my life. I mean, even when you're recording videos and doing this stuff for all these trips, like I do it from memory, so I don't really get too worked up. But you guys probably know. I mean, something always happens. Your camera doesn't always work, and you don't always get the shot that you want, or your audio might not work for some of the shots. Whatever it is, that was literally the first trip that everything worked the way it was supposed to, and I never just had that feeling before. Like every time. Yeah, I couldn't hardly breathe. It's just so freaking beautiful up there. And it's like, you can't believe what I'm looking at. You'll absolutely love it. It's probably the best hike I've ever been on in my life. So fantastic.
My son went to college in Montana. So I saw a lot of Montana and Wyoming, and I agree with you. 2 amazing states.
Yeah. I really want to get to Montana.
Yeah,
I really do.
Gorgeous. Up around Helena, Glacier. I mean, Glacier is a bucket list trip for me.
Yep. Me too. Absolutely. Me too. Awesome, guys. Well, fantastic. It was great having everybody on here. Man, just had a good time talking to you guys. Learned a lot. Maybe I can get to the Pinhoti Mafia next year and maybe do the Triple Crown with you guys. That would be really, really cool. So keep me in the loop. I'd love to actually do that. I think that'd be lots of fun. And then, Chris, can we develop an Indiana Triple Crown? Do we have 3 trails that are over 20 miles that we could do?
Oh yeah, we have. I'm getting ready to do one this weekend.
Nice.
We have it. It just nobody's. I don't think of. They call it that, but nobody's like done it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
So after Elbert, buddy, we need to knock that one out.
If you build it, they will come.
That's what I've noticed with the meetups that we have.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Hey, actually, good thing you said that. Again, real quick, want to give a shout out. Meetup at Blackwell Horse Camp, Charles C. Deem Wilderness, the 28th, right?
Yep, 28th.
So that's coming up quick. I mean, there may be the who's who that show up. I mean, this is looking like it's going to be a fun time, including an overlanding group.
Yep.
Chris is donating tons of gear, so his apartment doesn't look like an REI store anymore. He's kind of over that.
Like stuff I've reviewed that I don't want to keep, to be honest.
Right. Just paint it forward. That's what you guys say. Make it
That's
say
right.
paint it forward.
Yeah.
So also, I'll give away a couple polar jammers. Right, those will be going out. I've got the Sunbless headlamp that'll be going in that as well, and of course, Bumblebee 2.0 will be given away to somebody. So hopefully we get lots of people there. So hammock camping.
Yes,
is there hammock camping?
There is beyond the fence. So this is at a horse camp, Max, and so most of it's just park anywhere you want, camp anywhere you want. But then the woods is behind the fence. So yeah, there are places to hammock camp. You just, when everybody goes to bed, you're just a lone person in the woods. So, but don't feel bad about that.
You'll be right next to Goat, maybe.
Goat boy.
Right.
Yeah, he may be showing up as well too. So it's going to be a fun time.
Max, I'm gonna do a video about it soon, a reminder video, and I'll put all the details in there. So just look for that because I know you're subbed to me.
Right? Even funnier. That's awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. This has been a great conversation. Really enjoyed talking to you guys about it, and looking forward to you guys. Still got some more videos coming out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow at 7, I'll be doing a premiere of Oak Mountain Day 2.
Nice. Nice.
I'm in the process of editing day 3, so
okay. Awesome.
Mine are done, but I'm always way behind, so mine will come out in May.
Of next year.
Yeah. Right before the next one.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right before the next one. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. And then last thing as far as housekeeping, why don't you guys run through any social media? Let's give a reminder how that they can get a hold of you. Squiv, if you want to lead us off, YouTube, social media, anything that you want to put out there.
Really, it's only 2 places. It's YouTube, Gone Feral with Squiggly, and then on Instagram, it's the same thing, Gone Feral with Squiggly.
Awesome. All right, cool. All right, Terry?
Just on YouTube, Terry Young Outdoors. I am on Instagram as the Coach Terry because I coached baseball and ice hockey both. So, that, and I'm on Facebook. But yeah, sub my channel on YouTube. Terry Young Outdoors.
Awesome. All right, Metro.
Metro on the Move on YouTube, Metro on the Move, one word on Instagram, but also check out hikersofamerica.com. It's a new website that I've launched to help promote all channels of people I like to hike with, but also trails, and the Alabama Triple Crown is all kinds of links are on there. So make sure you check out hikersofamerica.com. It's a growing website. Again, the whole point is to help promote all of the channels within our network, and also all the different places to hike and various different elements that go along with those trails. It's all going to be on that website. It's in its beta stage, but it's live, hikersofamerica.com.
Awesome. Crow?
So I'm As a Crow Flies Hiking on YouTube, As a Crow Flies Hiking on Instagram, and for whatever reason on Facebook, I'm just Crow Flies Hiking. I need to change that or something. I don't know. And then my OnlyFans is Gone Feral with Squiggly. I started that just to show my feet, so.
Them feet.
They get mixed up with Frodo from Lord of the Rings.
Backpacking gear is expensive. You got to do what you got to do.
Oh my goodness. All right. And then thanks again to Chris, that hiking guy. Campfire Cat Holes. You guys got one coming up?
We got one coming up, and we have really two major guests. They're secret right now, but we have two major guests that are coming up. You got major people, like
major.
Yeah, for reals.
We're excited about it.
Awesome. All right. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate everybody coming on. Thanks for everybody joining in the chat. Great time. Learned a lot. And until next time.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Peace.